Coach E here. We are here with the lovely Adrienne Campbell. She is the principal for Tallahassee Classical School, and we have the after-school program with them, and we're so excited for this partnership. So I just wanted to get to know you a little bit, kind of know your sports background a little bit. I want to share with our members so they know who you are, and get some information about the after-school program. So that's where we're going, okay? That's our outline.
Sounds great.
Wonderful. So yes, just introduce yourself briefly, and then we'll get into some childhood memories.
Sure. So I am Adrienne Campbell. I'm the principal for Tallahassee Classical School, as you've stated. I have been in multiple various roles in education, including coaching. I was the varsity and JV tennis coach for Godby High School, and so that was a lot of fun. Played a little bit of collegiate tennis, and I think that sports is a really important part of well-rounded education, and so I'm really excited to have you guys on as one of our vendors.
Love it. Yes, it's been really fun. We've been connecting with prospective members throughout the summer, so we're really excited for fall to get started.
Yes, exactly.
So yes, you mentioned tennis. I know we've talked about that before. So yeah, tell me about your experiences with tennis as a child.
Yeah, so I had a racket, a Mickey Mouse racket, and I used that starting at the age of 5. And my dad was my first tennis coach, and my sister was my first competitor and my longest competitor. And I played USTA, junior ITF, it was always a part of my life. I lived on the tennis courts, and Saturdays and Sundays were for tournaments, and we traveled all over the state of Florida, and it was a really great experience.
That's awesome. Well, I know you were serious because you busted out some acronyms that I don't know. That's how you know someone. That's how you know someone really played, right? That's awesome. I'm assuming those are various leagues and different competitive levels.
Yeah, the United States Tennis Association and the International Tennis Federation, I think is what it is. Anyway, so how you get ranked and all that stuff. So
I love it. So you were serious, a serious athlete.
Yes.
So tell me about what's one lesson? I know this is so hard as an athlete. I can imagine being asked this question myself, how hard it would be. But what's one lesson that stands out to you that you learned on the courts that really served you?
I think it's perseverance, especially in a tennis environment. It's an individual sport, and so when you win, you won, and when you lost, you lost. And so learning to win gracefully and lose graciously, I think were two really big components of that. And then to persevere, to know that there was always somebody, like you're only as good as your next match, and you put in the effort in practice in order to get to, that next level, and to continue that training is just really important if you want to be an elite athlete. So
I love that perseverance.
Yeah,
I'm sure that served you well in
and
every
it's one of our
facet.
virtues. So I had to throw it in there.
Of course, I love it. I really like what you said about, because I was always in team sports, and so really that, there's no blame game in tennis.
No.
I mean, whether you did or you didn't was on you, and that's intense. Just thinking as a kid. So I love that, and it shows in your work that you've done with the school and just your character as a person. So
thank you.
Yeah. I think that's really. Thanks for sharing that. Okay, you mentioned that you had your dad as your coach, but. So I did have a question about who was your favorite coach, and what was one memory you had with them that stands out?
Oh, goodness gracious. I have had the opportunity to be on the tennis courts with John and Chrissy Everett from Everett Tennis Academy when I was training in South Florida. I had the opportunity to work with Nick Bollettieri from IMG Academies, and that was really neat. Coach Kessel, I remember from Kessel Academy down in South Florida. Coach Williams. There were so many really great coaches. It's really difficult to name just one of them. Sean Maslow is the one who taught me to play tennis to begin with, and when I was really young, gave me a love for the sport. And so I think all the coaches have there's a different memory attached to them, but obviously years later I can still name them all, which just goes to show you how important coaches are and what kind of difference they can make in a kid's life.
I love that. And then you mentioned you you turned around and became a coach yourself.
I did, yeah. So
Tell us about that a little bit.
I was a varsity and JV tennis coach over at Gadby High School, and I coached when I was in high school, and when I was in college, I coached over at McClay a little bit with Corbin Graves. So have had a little bit of that in Tallahassee, and then moved into different roles where I didn't do as much coaching and had kids and all that kind of stuff. So now I get to sit on the sidelines as they play a different sport and get to yell at them, but not be their coach. So
I was just going to ask, yeah, I didn't know if you had a soccer coaching in your future for your kids.
No, that was my husband's sport, and I love it because I get to yell and scream about go get the ball and score the goal, and I don't know a whole lot about the rules, so I feel like I can be that fun coach.
You can, yeah.
Or fun parent, and not the coaching parent, maybe always. It's not as intense for me as maybe tennis would be, so.
Maybe that's good they were into soccer.
That's right.
I love that. So we're going to transition talking about just your philosophy, and if you guys have not gone to the website for Tallahassee Classical, please do. It's chock full of amazing information and really goes through their vision and mission, which is incredible. I fell in love with this school. I'm glad that y'all found us and fell in love with us, so I could fall in love with you guys and what you do. But talk to me about your philosophy on health in general.
Yeah, so with classical education, we look at the whole child. So we talk about character, we talk about virtue, we talk about what it means to be a good citizen, along with the very strong academics. And so we can consider physical education, art education, and music education as co-curriculars. So they're not extra, they are an essential part of a well-rounded education. And especially with kids, not only do they need to be able to learn to play sports, but they also need to know about health and wellness. They need to know about their bodies, they know how to use their bodies appropriately and responsibly, how to make sure that they don't injure themselves, make sure that they can stay and grow up to be healthy individuals and continue that active lifestyle. And so by formulating a physical education program and then having an after-school program where they're running and they're playing and they're moving, that's really what we were going for. And then we have our character virtues, you guys also incorporate sportsmanship and that type of character on the field and on the courts and in that arena. And so I think it couples with what we see the importance of physical education to be.
I love that. Yeah, I saw that connection when I learned more about what you guys do, which I love. So talk to me a little bit about, you kind of touched on it, but what is the vision for physical education at TCS? Talk about what kids will be involved in as co-curricular.
Yeah, so we have a wonderful coach who is coming in to be our physical education instructor, and he is onboarding right now, and so we're really excited to be able to announce him here in the next couple of weeks. But he is going to be focusing a lot on agility. He's going to be able to focus on strength, different muscle groups, talk about what it means to have a well-balanced diet, what it means to get enough sleep at night, treating our body well when it comes to making good decisions and poor decisions. So our physical education program is not only playing basketball and learning how to play basketball, but also, again, just learning how to use and take care of our bodies so that way we can be athletic and healthy through our whole lives and not just stop when whatever sport we're playing stops.
That is so important. I'm so excited because we hope with I-9 and what we will do is we will continue that in our program after school as well.
Great.
We'll be doing some of those more traditional sports, but ultimately it's about the whole health of the child. So it'll be so nice that they're getting that while at school. They can come after school and keep that, being reiterated. So I am just really excited for all these kids that get to play with us. I did want to talk about the after-school program really quickly, just a little bit of the details. So for anyone who's watching who wants to know, we will be doing Monday through Friday. It'll be 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. So it's a really nice time that we have with the kids that we can really, again, do just beyond, having the rotations of the sports. So we will definitely be having opportunities for homework and snacks and things like that. We'll be doing some free play, which is just that movement piece like you were talking, just free movement where they can create and play. And then we'll be doing more of the organized sports, and we have a vision of having like rotations. So we'll have little stations where they can maybe try different things. Because I know a lot of things with parents that I talk to, it's like once their kid is in a sport, it's like hard to do anything else. And we really want the TCS kids to be able to maybe try out for a day, like what is football? Maybe they love it, maybe they don't love it, but at least they're in, they have an opportunity to try it out
Absolutely.
with no risk, in a really safe environment where they can kind of just have fun, make mistakes, laugh at themselves, and say, yeah, that wasn't for me.
Right, they're not like signing up for a league and like
Exactly.
dedicating an entire semester to this sport and all of the equipment and things that go with
Exactly.
it. They get to dabble in a little bit of everything and then decide, I want to get more serious about this or this, and it'll roll really nicely into our clubs as they get older, and then junior varsity and varsity athletics. So if our kids decide that they do want to be more competitive, that'll be a really nice transition into those types of sports as they get older.
Absolutely. So it's kind of laying the foundation for that.
Right.
So we're prepping from day one.
That's right.
I love it. So we will have several options for parents. They can do all 5 days, Monday through Friday. They can do 3 days. They can do 2 days. So it's really based on schedule and what works best for them. We have everything on the website. On your all's website, we have in the after school section, i9sports.com, where only TCS parents can register their kids. We have our own special registration for you guys, and everything's 1 month registration at this time. So, yep, try it out. We can't wait to see you. So I have one last thing, and
Sure.
I from the mouth of the principal, right?
Yeah.
Yes, the voice of the principal. What's one thing you would say to your students out there that maybe don't love sports, maybe are less physically active? What would you just say to them as far as like maybe, prepping their mind or opening them up to something like I-9?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so when we think of sports, we think of something really intense, something really hard, something really intense, and we don't necessarily think of it as play. And so I think that with a program like I-9 and an after-school program, this gives us the opportunity to play and to learn about different ways to play. And as an adult, you don't have to be super competitive to join your work league's softball team, or to join an intramural sport when you go to college, or to engage in some of those activities that will keep you healthy and still be really fun. And so kind of taking a little bit of the competitiveness out of it. Of course, some people love competition, and that's what sports are for, but to think of it more as a way of playing and staying active and having fun, as opposed to committing to being really intense about a sport, will get them into the mindset that this can be something that I can enjoy potentially for the rest of my life, and if I decide that I want to dive deeper into it, I have the opportunity to do so.
I love that. Well, I think you inspired some kids out there that maybe weren't thinking about, I'm not the sports person, because they're already developing. I'm not the athlete or the jock or whatever. So it's really important to, and so we hope to do that. And that is exactly what we provide. And I will say that, I-9 sports were the way these sports should be. And I feel like that's what started this love affair, right, between TCS and I-9 sports, is that just the organic nature of movement and play and the funness of what it's supposed to be. You were an athlete, as soon as it wasn't fun anymore, right, it changed. Right. And we've all been through that, I think, because we've played long enough.
Sure.
We've had seasons where it just wasn't fun anymore.
Right.
And it was hard to push through.
And sometimes when you're a competitive athlete, it's hard.
Yeah.
And we talking about perseverance, we do really hard things, right? But really having it be the choice for the kids, and to encourage kids to do hard things if that's what they desire to do, I think is a better approach than you will do this and you will do this at a really high level, is allowing kids to really have the freedom of exploration in sports and to make some of those choices. And then you as the parent support them when things get hard.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, all those lessons are so applicable to life.
Yeah.
So we are always considering, the future, our future generation, and how we're preparing them overall. So I love it. Registration is open, you guys. We are live. You can go online at their website. You can go i9sports.com. Either way, you can hit it. Like I said, they are by month, and our registration deadline is July 4th. So we're really pushing for this time. We know you guys are excited to get back in the swing of things and have a sense of excitement and part normalcy in some way.
Yeah.
So we are open, we are ready. You can field your questions to the school, but also to us directly, and we'll insert any contact information for you guys. So that is all. I'm so grateful for our time today.
Yeah, well, thank
Campbell.
you for chatting with me and all of the great questions. And we're really excited to have you guys on campus in the fall.
I know, we can't wait. We are very, very, very excited. And so thank you again for your time, and we'll see you on the fields.
That sounds great.
Awesome.